guys hear me down there? Yay, I used to be a cheerleader so I can get really, really loud. You guys down here? Okay, so to follow up with the wine, I'm looking for anyone named Danielle. Come on up here, girl. I'm not going to make you cry, I promise. So I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. In Nashville, Tennessee, we are famous for homemade moonshine. So since your name is Danielle, you're going to get this fabulous gift from me. Thank you for coming. There's more of that to come. I have a lot to go over. Please, if you can, hold your questions till the end. I will try to finish early so we can have Q&A. Also, I will be in the room, how do you pronounce it? Andros A for 30 minutes after this, so please feel free to come see me there. I'll save 2 moonshines for that, okay? All right. One for myself, yes. I have people up here that are heckling me, so. Okay, so today we're going to talk about objections. Last year I spoke to a great room. We talked about the customer sales process and what we can do to better serve our customers. And on the feedback, I got great feedback. The moonshine was the #1 thing that was great, so that's why I brought it again. But the one thing people were asking for is how we overcome objections. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you the tools of what you need to do to be able to handle customer objections. How many managers do I have in the room? Lots, yay. Managers, this is for you. Owners, if you're here and your manager's not here, you need to listen and take notes. So what I want you to do, the first thing is put yourself in the shoes of a consumer. Think of who you are and how you like to shop and what businesses are your favorites that you go to. What's your favorite restaurant? We all have that favorite with our favorite server that has your drink sitting on the table before you ever sit down. I don't care if that steak is $25 and I can get it for $12 down the street. I'm going there for the service that I get in that restaurant. Same thing with new cars. I have a car salesman. He always gives me the best deals, the best interest rates, the best incentives. I've bought 5 cars from him. He's wonderful. I don't trust anybody else. I'm going to go to him. Think about your favorite hotels. You know, I know we're here, but I'm a Hilton Honors person. You know, we all like our favorite hotels, favorite rental car places, and it's because of the service that we receive. So when you get your head in that mindset, that's what we're going to talk about. So what I'm going to talk to you guys today is about confidence in your product, how to sell against your competition, how to explain your features and their benefits, how to overcome pushback on rate increases, fees, things like that, tips for getting positive reviews. We've got a lot to go over. One thing I will say after attending all day yesterday and the day before, all I'm hearing with the speakers is pretty much consistency. Hearing the same thing. You need to sell tenant insurance, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's about customer service, and I love that people are focusing on that. That tells me that our industry is doing an amazing job of supporting each other. We're all in this business, we all want to be successful. So I applaud us as industry peers because you guys are doing a great job. So first you want to know your stuff. I happen to know my stuff. That's why I'm here. You have to know your lease. How many have actually read your lease, every single page? How many don't understand it and have to call a lawyer and ask a question? Knowing your lease, thank you for being honest. You've got to know your lease. You've got to know what the laws are. You've got to know what supports your rules and regulations and your procedures and your policies. So you need to read your lease and you need to understand it. If you are a manager and you don't understand your lease, ask your owner to help you explain it to you. Because as owners, we've got to make sure that our employees that we have in charge of these $1 million assets know what they're talking about. So you've got to know that. You also need to know your competitors. You've got to know what they offer that you don't, what you offer that they don't. And we're going to get into all this a little bit. Your site rules are for safety of everybody. Speed limits, 5 miles an hour. No smoking inside your climate control buildings or no smoking on your property. You know, things like that, your safety rules, that is individual. Our rules are different at every site that we have. What products to recommend? You guys are the smart ones. You guys are the experts. You've got to know how to sell stuff to people that walk through your door. It's revenue. It makes you do a better job for your owner when you're able to produce more and more income for them. And you need to know the benefits that you offer that stand out. And what I found in the business, when I came here 8 years ago, people didn't even have websites. People didn't have emails. The big argument back then was, my customer's not gonna give me their email. Do you guys remember that? And it's like, no, you don't ask them if they have one. You say, give me your email. And now everybody has email. So we've come a long way. 75% of the people that store today have stored before. It used to be the opposite. It used to be 25%. So if someone comes in and they've stored before, ask them about that experience. What is your concerns? What are your concerns? And how can I make this experience better for you? If they say, well, I got broken into, address your security and your safety features. Well, here we have 25 cameras, or here we have lights, or here we have this and that. Gate access. Some people want to get in 24 hours a day. Some people don't. We personally don't let people on our property at 2 a.m., but a lot of people do. People who need it, it might be a retired person that says, you know, I like to fish. I come in and I need my boat at 4 o'clock in the morning. Give it to him. Accommodate. You know, you can charge money for that too, by the way. Pest control. Who has never had a problem with pest control? Okay, so, you know, I can't keep a mouse out of my kitchen, and I freak out and I call my husband screaming, going, oh my God, call the pest control people. I can't keep them out of my house. But what I can do is take all the preventative measures that I can at our facilities to let the customer know we're doing everything we can do. I do not sell rat poison. I don't want to send that message. However, if somebody really is concerned, I'll say, go buy one of those little bags and throw it in there and make you feel better. So address those things that are issues for them, that they're concerned about. Know what to recommend. Locks specifically for storage. That to me is a no-brainer. Everyone should be buying their locks from you. Mattress covers. You know, I don't know when we became mattress storage. Who hasn't had a mattress dumped on their property? See, managers are shaking their heads. We've had to haul them off. So you know that 99% of the people that walk through your door have a mattress to store. Sell them a mattress cover. Sell them boxes. Sell them a moving kit. You're the expert. That's why they're coming to you. Tell them we sell quality boxes. We're a box outlet, discount boxes. You know, they don't know they're there. Yes, I paid 50 cents for the box. I'm gonna sell it to you for $2, but we're discount boxes. It works. Sell the value of you providing these things. I will be your personal shopper today. I'm a woman. I love personal shoppers. Men hate to shop, so it's a win-win, okay? I'm your personal shopper. You're gonna need this, you're gonna need that. Our tagline at A+ Storage for the last, well, since we opened, is we make it easy. You come to us, we're gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna provide every single thing that you could possibly think of, and things you don't even know you need, you're gonna get from me. Ask questions. We require a disc lock. Are you familiar with it? Nobody's familiar with a cylinder lock. They go, huh? Know how to explain the benefit of tenant insurance. You know, I hear everybody talk about tenant insurance. You need to sell it, you need to sell it, you can make money, it's revenue. But what's the benefit of it to your customer? Owners, you've got to train your managers and explain to them the benefit of tenant insurance. I can sell it all day long, but I need to be able to tell you why it's a value to you and why you need it. Most people automatically pick the lowest. True, they pick the lowest thing you offer, $9 a month. Okay, you break that down for a year, it's only $108. Low or no deductibles. Someone that's worried about pest control, our insurance offers a vermin clause. It's awesome. If a little vermin gets in there, we've got you covered on that. It's limited at $1,000, but you know what? That's better than nothing. If they don't have it insured, their homeowners isn't going to cover that. Now, I'm not an insurance agent, so I can't say all that, but I can say, hey, this is the benefit of having ours. It's an extra layer of protection. It complements your homeowner's insurance. It's specifically for storage. One thing I love is if you use my free moving truck, or you rent a Penske or U-Haul or budget truck, within 100 miles of my facility, your stuff in transit is covered. That's awesome. So if you go rent a U-Haul or a Penske and you don't take that cargo insurance, you're not covered if you wreck that truck and your stuff falls down on a highway in Atlanta, Georgia. And I had somebody with a Penske truck that happened, and he had not taken the transit or hadn't taken the cargo, and it wasn't covered. And his wife was on the phone with me crying her eyes out. And I looked, I'm like, I'm sorry. But I would much rather not be sorry because somebody has the insurance. Have photographs to show in your office. I'm from Tennessee. We have tornadoes. Anybody been through a tornado? Yes. They're scary. I hate them. Show that. Sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. Everybody thinks that's not going to happen to me, but it can happen. You know, we've been really lucky. We haven't had to deal with any kind of catastrophes. Fires. Anybody had to deal with a fire? I know you have. It's terrible. Hurricane in Texas. I was in North Carolina right after the hurricane hit for the North Carolina show last fall. It was devastating. That group of self-storage people that were at that conference were so upset, and they were dealing with all kinds of claims. They were dealing with tenants that had lost everything. They were dealing with flooding. They were dealing with damage, but they came together like I've never seen. That group of people, applause, because they did a great, great job coming together, trying to help. And I'm not picking on them, but I just happened to find this on the internet. Break-ins. You guys have all heard about a tenant who'll come in and rent a unit from you and then go break into other people's units while they're there after hours and put the stuff in their unit. Has anybody dealt with break-ins? I was mystery shopping a place, and so we started asking the guy, and Michelle was with me, and I said, have you ever had any break-ins? He goes, oh yeah, we've had like 3, but we haven't had one in a long time. No, never say that. Why are you telling me that? Yeah, we've had 3, okay. So when you're selling tenant insurance, be prepared to explain why that is a benefit to your customer. Fees. What is an admin fee? Okay, so let's talk about this. Airlines charge baggage fees. That's why I fly Southwest. I'm gonna plug them. Cell phone providers, look on your bill. There's a service fee. How many paid a resort fee staying here this week? How many times have you traveled and went to a hotel and they said, valet parking is $25 a night, and you say, well, is there any other option? No, that's all we have. It happens all the time. Fees are common in all kinds of industries. Utilities, if I pay my water bill online, there's a service fee for me to do that. It's like $2 or $3, but it's convenient, so I pay it. Even financial advisors charge fees. So how are fees affecting us and our business? It's a one-time non-refundable fee. It's very common. It replaces a security deposit. I love that. We don't charge security. Who charges it? Anyone charge a security deposit that's refundable? Well, it's a handful. Well, I don't know how you explain that, but that's okay. But that's how you explain it. You know, it replaces a security fee. It offsets the cost of paperwork, pest control, and unit prep. Be leery when you use that. Me as a customer, that would throw me off. I'd say, nah, you know, isn't that your job to have it ready for me to rent? But I know a lot of people that approach it that way, and if it works, it works. A lot of places include the lock. They can range from $10 to $25. Everyone who charges a $25 admin fee that I've talked to will include a lock in that. Including your lock is a good thing because then you know they're using a highly recommended lock that's for our industry. Or you can do a $10 fee and charge for a lock. Whatever works for you guys, just know how to explain it professionally. You know, the first time someone asked me, what's that for? I was like, had this deer in the headlight look, because I didn't know how to explain it. So I went to my owner and said, well, how do I explain this? Well, you just tell them blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what we did. Competition is easy. You know why? Because when someone comes to my store and then they go down the street, they don't have me down the street. They have me. They have you. You're there. You're the one that makes a difference. I have a manager that every time someone comes in and tells her that they may go down the street. She goes, well, they don't have a Betsy. Her name's Betsy. They don't have a Betsy. I've heard her say it 100 times. It's amazing. They don't have you. These are some of my staff members that are fabulous, by the way. You've got to know your competition. How many have ever went out and visited their competition? That's great. You guys have Panera Bread? Panera Bread? We go buy bagels and go visit them. Last year, we had a competitor move into one of our territories or our markets. We'd been very lucky. We hadn't had any competition in that market in a really long time. And we felt it. We saw what was going on. They were offering deals we weren't, and people were moving out actually to get lower rates. And it was because we hadn't had it in 9 years. We'd never had any competition. So we felt it. And my manager was really, really worried. And she's like, I'm so worried, I'm worried. I'm like, go get something and go down there and meet the manager. If you're so worried, go see what he's doing. She did. I was really proud of her. She went down there, she met him. He about fainted when she walked through the door because he wasn't expecting her, but they ended up talking. You can work together with your competitors. If you're out of a wardrobe box, send them down there, because that customer that comes through the door and you say, I don't have that wardrobe box, but let me call Luke and ask him. And you call Luke and say, hey, do you have any? And he goes, yeah, they're $12.50. Okay, send that customer down. But what's that customer remember? That customer remembers that you helped them. It's just like in the movie Miracle on 34th Street. You've all seen it, right? What does Santa Claus do? He sends them all down to that other store because their prices are cheaper. So that's what I'm thinking there. You got to know them. Pay attention to the details. I've visited stores and seen things that I really liked. I got ideas from the stores, took them back. Really good ideas. But I also paid attention to what they didn't do that I did. So once you're confident in your product and you know what you offer compared to what they offer, and you actually spend the time with the customer, then you can actually sell the value of why they need to store with you because you're very confident. Managers are proud of their properties. I've never walked into one single property that the manager didn't just, and I'll introduce myself, tell them who I am. And they like to brag on their stores. I'm a proud manager. If my owner comes in, I am, oh my gosh, let me show you this, let me show you that. I'm so excited. Look at these rentals. Look at this new account. So fun. They'll tell you because they're proud. And managers should be proud. It's a tough job. They wear a lot of hats. They need to brag on themselves. Managers, pat yourself on the back. I see it. There you go. Good job. Mystery shop them. I've had it done professionally, and I've also had my best friend go do it. But I want to know, what are the specials? Because they'll only tell you so much, and online only shows you so much. I do use Skill Check to do that. I've used that company for years to do my mystery shopping. It's a great, valuable tool. They'll go in and do a professional one. They'll wear a microphone. You'll get the whole recording and an evaluation. It'll tell you if their bathrooms were clean. It'll tell you stuff like that. The first thing I do when I visit a site is go to the bathroom just to make sure it's clean and stocked. I can't stand that if it's not. We already talked about that. Should you follow them on social media? Do you guys follow your competitors on social media? Did you say yes? Come here. You. What is your name? Melissa, come on down. It's moonshine. Don't drink that till noon. No, I didn't. Are there any lawyers in here? I might get in trouble. And look, now the Price is Right comes up. I should have done that on the next slide. Never badmouth your competition. You know why? Because it makes you look bad. You can say, I'm familiar with that property, but here's what I can offer. We have a property. You guys are going to die when I tell you this. They have gravel roads, no cameras. It's not lit up. There are chains securing units with 3 locks on them. They don't have a computer. They do everything by ledger. A couple of years ago, on Halloween night, a woman was murdered on their property, shot in the head. The cops in my town drive through the property about 1 o'clock in the morning just to check on it because it's so dark. It was not a tenant. It was a love triangle. I just happened to have the police department storing with me. They kind of gave me the lowdown on it. It was terrible. I wanted to put on our sign, but my boss wouldn't let me. No murders here. He was like, no. Why? It's so effective. So don't do anything like that. But if someone would come to me and say, okay, well, over there where they have murders, I can get a 10 by 10 for $25. I'm like, you know what? Go on down there and visit and then come back and see me. You don't need to match inferior properties. Properties that are the same level as you, and I think you all know what I'm talking about, work with that. But I'm not going to match someone who's that. Where there's murders, I'm not matching the price. I'm just not going to do it. It's okay for you to be higher in price because you're selling the value. Also, it's okay to let people walk out the door, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So, how many people in here know what size tires you have on your car? Women, how many? I'm impressed. So if I walked into a tire shop and I said, I need to get new tires, and the sales guy says, what size do you need? I don't know. What's the first thing a manager says when you walk in the door and say, I would like a storage unit? What size do you need? Do you see how that's redundant? Thank you, Michelle, because that was her contribution to my session, which I thought was brilliant. I don't know what size tires I need. Customers don't know either. They may have stored before and had a 10 by 10, but then they forgot to mention that they bought all brand new patio furniture and a couple chaise lounges and a new riding lawnmower, and that's not going to fit in that 5 by 10 that you had before. We had an assistant one time who was new and thought she was trained, and she rents a unit to a woman of 5 by 10. Why do people rent 5 by 10s? They rent them for one reason, because they're the cheapest that you have. Later that night, about 6 o'clock, and thank heavens my resident manager was at home, a 26-foot U-Haul full pulls into the parking lot. They put the code in, they go up to the unit and freak out. My assistant, who no longer works for us, by the way, did not qualify that move-in. Customers don't know, they make mistakes. You're the expert, you have to tell them what they need. You have to analyze what they need. There are all kinds of tools, there's sizing guides. Ask those questions. People forget to tell you about their basement and their attic and their garage. I have 3 bedrooms and a living room and a kitchen. But they forget about all the other stuff. So ask the questions to get to know what size they actually need. What does climate controlled even mean? Number one, I don't like climate controlled. I say temperature controlled. We can't control the climate. I've heard this from the lawyers that are in our industry. So even in SiteLink, which is the software we use, it now says temperature controlled units. It does not say climate control. I'll call a store and they'll say, what size do you need? Do you want climate or regular? Climate or standard? Oh my goodness, that's insane. Explain it. What does it do? And we're going to go over the answers to these questions in just a second. They don't know why they need a mattress cover, because if you're going to haul it off the property, you want it to be covered and nice, right? Why cameras and lights are important. Why they need a personal gate access code. They're confused. You're talking, foreign languages to them. So that's why they're there to ask you. Temperature-controlled buildings help protect your valuables from extreme heat or cold. It also keeps the dust down. That's why you need temperature controlled. If you have a Michael Jackson Thriller album that you're going to store for a year, put it in temperature control. Don't store it outside in a regular unit. I have one of those, by the way. Our ceilings are higher than standard. So what does that mean? It gives you more cubic feet. Doesn't that make me sound smart when I say it gives you more cubic feet? You know why? Because I worked for United Van Lines for 6 years prior to storage. You can stack things higher, saving you money. This I love. We offer a month-to-month rental agreement. Everyone in here does that, right? That's what we do. It puts you in control of how long you stay. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, the customer's like, oh, I'm in control. All right. Nobody else is telling the customer that. Tell the customer, you're in control. There's no long-term commitment. We all do it, but they don't know that. Our cameras are high definition and record 24 hours a day for better security. Never say surveillance, say recording. If you say surveillance, it gives the idea that you're sitting there watching that camera 24/7, which we all know that you're having dinner at 6 o'clock or you may be at the beach on a Sunday. So say recording. They are recording, that's the truth, but I'm not sitting there watching it 24/7. Does that make sense? Now here's why y'all are here. What if the objection is still the price? Well, I don't care that you have all that. I don't care that you just told me all this stuff. You're still $10 higher, and I can go down the street. How many have had that objection in your office? Because I guarantee you all of us have. What do? Sell yourself. Ask them how long they plan to stay. How long does everybody plan to stay, guys? Come on. 1 month. That's all I'm saying. That's it. But I'm going to be here in a year. They're going to go, I really do need to move out of that unit, don't I? So let's just say they say 3 months. Okay, I'll match that rate for 3 months. Will that get you to be my customer today? Will that help you make your decision? Put that little special in there. 3 months, it goes up to regular price. They're not going to move out. We all know they're not going to move out. We all know that the value of a customer is at least 9 months. There are circumstances where they don't, but typically they do if you look at your reports. Verify price matching. Y'all, I've had like really sweet old men come into my office, but they're kind of grumpy. Well, yeah, I can get that. I just went down there and they said they could get it for me for $69. Get on that computer and go to their website. Verify it. See what they're advertising. They lie. People will lie to you. They do. They lie. So verify it. If you get on there and say, well, you know what, Mr. Jones, I see here they do have those on special for $79. I'm happy to match that rate for you. I'm in Nashville. It's very competitive right now. We've got people coming in. Storage is being built every 5 minutes apart. Some right next to each other, right across the street. My market is extremely competitive right now. We are running specials. We are matching rates. We are not charging over standard rate. It's been a big change. 2018 was a different year for us. Anybody else experiencing the competitive? Yes. And it's really hard to explain to your investors why our revenue went down. Well, because we are having to do specials we haven't had to do in 5 years. So you have to explain that. Be ready to explain that to your owners. So we're having to do that because Nashville's very competitive. It's okay. I survived 2008. We can survive this too. We know how to do it. It's okay. You can also offer incentives that don't affect your rental dollars, like free locks, lottery tickets. Actually, people love that. They love lottery tickets. I don't know why. Tank of gas. We are enrolled in a gift card program. Now, it gets a little complicated with gift cards because you got to have a stack of gift cards in your office that your manager has. They have to be tracked. You've got to make sure that manager's not giving them to their friends. So if you're going to do something like that, be careful and make sure it's accounted for. But our call center does it for us. So what they do is they offer a gift card incentive. Then they follow up with the manager, verify the customer showed up, and then they send them the gift card. And my managers don't have to fool with it, but they have the benefit of it. As soon as that's verified, they get a gift card sent out. It costs me $25 a lead. That is nothing. I'll pay $25 all day long for that. So they can come in and they've got like Target and all these different ones that they incentivize with. So that's a great idea. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can just somehow have some kind of login book or something to verify maybe receipts or signatures signed and they actually have rented a unit. But if you do that, make sure your managers are reporting that and being very accountable for it. It's okay to let them walk. How many of you managers have ever just let a customer walk out the door? It's okay to do that. If price is the only thing that matters, they don't care about your security, they don't care about their cleanliness, they don't care about your professional service. Very seasoned managers can recognize a problem in about the first 5 minutes they talk to a customer. I only can pay in cash. I don't have an ID. Blah, blah, blah. They're in a hurry. They don't want you to explain the lease. Do you know people put meth labs in storage units? You guys aware? And who has to clean that up? We do. So a very seasoned manager that knows they have a red flag and they tell them, I'm sorry, I can't go any lower. It's okay to let that person walk because it could become a problem. And I trust my managers with that decision. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it does. Delinquencies, they're difficult, they're never satisfied, they're rule breakers. Those are the kind of tenants that we all really don't want, right? This little girl was so excited that she got a rental increase. How many of you guys have got a phone call that says, oh my gosh, thank you so much, you raised my rent? Sorry. Here's what you can do to help with pushback on real increases. Number one, be consistent. I just talked about 2008. How many of you were around in 2008 managing facilities? Okay, it was difficult. Well, we were like really sweet and nice and said, oh, it's hard times and we're not going to raise rent for 4 years. And then guess what happened? Boom, we're out of units. We're going to send out $25 rent increases. Oh my gosh, people were livid, furious, moving out. Just be consistent, do it every year, even if it's very, very small. I'm going to throw up some small numbers here in just a second. Don't procrastinate. Don't listen to the sob stories. The last time I checked, we were not a not-for-profit business. Anybody here not-for-profit? I'm not raising my hand. Timing, maintenance, and provide great service. I'm going to hit on those things for you guys. The competition is greater now. Just like I have this problem in Nashville, it is greater, but so what? I still have to be consistent with my rental increases. I still have to send them out. Treat all customers the same. We all have our favorite tenants, admit it, you know you do. I don't want to raise her rent. She's on Social Security. She's been with me for 25 years. She's only been late 15 times. No, I don't care. You have to be consistent. You have to treat everyone the same. What you have to do is don't be intimidated and choose a time that you're going to raise the rates. 9 months, 12 months. Some people do 6 months. Right now, with our competition, we're going back down to 12 months because we just want to not hit them every 6 to 9 months. Those days are kind of not happening in Nashville right now. So we are doing that. But you know what? We're still going to raise because we have to. We have to raise rates. If you have 400 eligible units and every customer gets a $3 increase, $3, that's $1,200 per month in added revenue that you're bringing into your site. Over a year, that's $14,000. Who's going to move out over $3? Anybody? Even if you just have 200 units, do the math. And those of you familiar with cap rates, look at the added value that adds to your facility, bringing in an extra $14,000. At 7%, it's $205,000 added value. This isn't necessarily something that I would share with your customers, but I'm sharing this with you. What goes up every year? Number one, taxes, health insurance, utilities, maintenance, contract renewals. I just got my insurance renewal for my car. I pay it every 6 months. It went up $50. Why? I don't know. I didn't have a wreck. I didn't even call them, but it went up $50. But I'm not going to argue. I pay it. I have to. I have good insurance. I look at the value of it. Arguments are going to be less likely if you are explaining, hold on, I'm lost here. Okay. Those go up. Oh, and payroll. Payroll's our number one expense. Payroll goes up every year. Because how many managers in here don't want to raise every year? If anyone raises their hand, I'm giving you moonshine right now. Okay, come on. I knew I'd get somebody. What is your name? Where are you an owner or a manager?
I'm a manager.
Where's your boss?
Probably over in the Boston.
Oh, we won't tell him, okay.
We won't
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like I said, remember in the recession where we didn't, I kind of hit on that before I got to it. Arguments are less likely if you're consistent and you're raising your rents. and tenants expect it. Stagger your timing, put a plan in place. Rental increases aren't something you can just push a button and do them once a year. It's an every week, every month process. I train my managers, if you're out of 10 by 20 temperature controlled units, raise the price because we always want to have some availability. That's a hot unit. Look at what you have the least available of and watch that. You can raise those rates because people aren't going to move out, or if they do, you're going to get a higher price for it once a new person comes in because it's a hot unit. It's in demand in your area. Delinquent tenants, they're paying you 20 extra bucks a month anyway, right? If you can't kick them out, I was at a round table yesterday and she was having a really bad problem. She raised someone's rent like $800 a month just to get rid of her. I'm like, what? I've never heard that. That's crazy. Raise their rent, 20 bucks. They're paying it anyway. If I'm about to put up with you, you're gonna pay me more money. People paying less than your standard rate that came in on a special. When you get people in on the special, don't just let them have it forever. You've got to raise their rent too. Look at that. You've got reports. They'll say people paying less than standard. Look at those. How long have they been here? Raise them up. Staggering them every month helps to avoid massive move-outs. If you send 500 people a rental increase on one day, you might have, I don't know the percentage, I think we might get 10% that move out, maybe 5, 10, Jim's saying 10. That's 50, so don't do that. Send them out, stagger them. It makes it easier for the manager. And you want your manager looking at that, and managers, you need to look at that because you need to know your inventory, and you need to be doing that. You're doing a great job, and then you can go ask for that raise from your boss. Maintenance. If your customers are coming to you and there's leaks, landscaping, pest control issues, the heat and air is not working in building B in the middle section, the gate is not functioning, the cameras are out, lights. If they're complaining to your managers and telling them that these are issues they need fixed and you're not fixing them as an owner, you're gonna get pushback because they're gonna say, you're not even keeping the property up. They came here because you're a beautiful site, you offer all these great things. Make sure your lights are working, make sure they're happy with the maintenance. Managers, get out on your golf carts, sweep a unit, pick up trash. When your customers see you do that, wow, she's a really hard worker, she really works hard there. My customers were tattletales. I had a guy come up to me and say, hey Stephanie, someone was smoking in climate control. I'm like, what? Give me the cameras, I'm gonna go get them right now. It was movers. But they came and told me, they like that. They feel important when they can come tell on other people and you pay attention. So when you do that, if you raise the rent, make sure your property's, good and functioning and everything's right. Provide great service. Great service begins when? The minute you hear from the customer, whether it's a phone call or they walk through your door, that's when it starts. Happy customers are more gracious and understanding. Customers who love you will stay. How many have been to a Cracker Barrel? This gentleman, I think his name is Patrick, I don't know him, has 4 stars on his apron. Cracker Barrel has a program where if you're new, your apron has a rising star. If you've been there a little while, you get 1 star, 2, all the way up to 5. When I sit down to have dinner and I get a rising star server, my expectations are lower. Does that make sense? If I get a 5-star, they're up there. So if y'all have 5-star reviews, you best be performing at a 5-star level. That's what people expect. I just threw that in there as an example. Properly train your staff. Managers, if you have questions about the goals of your owner and you want to help them, have a talk, schedule a meeting. Owners want you to be successful. My owner loves to talk about how great he is. And he really is, but he really loves to talk. The biggest thing you can tell your managers is you expect me to give you a raise every year, and I expect you to help me by raising rates and effectively handling this and doing your job. That's part of a manager's job. So many things are streamlined today. We've got online auctions, we've got websites, we've got call centers. Managers have a little more free time, and that's what we want them to do. We want them managing our store. We want them renting units, taking payments, looking at rent increases, reporting property issues. That's what we pay them to do. That's what we want them to do. So they also expect a pay increase, and they deserve it. Managers have been with you for a year, 2, 3, they deserve a raise. But you can put it back on them and say, well, my costs have went up, but this is what we're going to do for rental increases. And let me tell you something else about your employees. They don't care what your costs are. Because you know what they see? I see $45,000 a month coming in here. My owner must be a gazillionaire. They don't realize that the note on that property is $28,000. Share that stuff with your managers. Educate them. It doesn't have to be private. They want to do a good job for you. And owners want you to do a good job as a manager. So communicate. I can't stress enough how much communication between a manager and an owner needs to happen. Take 5 minutes, do it. They need to know how to respond. They can look at the account and say, well, Mr. Smith, we haven't given you a raise in the last 12 months. It's the yearly time. And you have received these specials. And remember, we did waive that one late fee for you. Make sure they do that. If you have a manager stand there and says, I know, they made me do it. This is just terrible. I just can't believe it. It's the owner. No. If the manager's on the tenant side, that makes you look bad. So teach your employees to be very respectful and explain it in a very professional way. Explain to your customers you're not singling them out. Yes, I know, you've been here for a long time. Everybody got one. It wasn't just you. And customers think that. They're so me, that they're going, I know I'm the only one you gave a rental increase to. No, you're not. Who do you think you are? You special? No. These people kind of look upset. So, fees. Collections is our favorite part of the job, right? Everybody cheer. Yeah, we love collections. So when I was working on this session, I sent an email to my staff and I said, okay, I want you guys, I'm trying to come up with names for delinquent tenants. I want your ideas. My first idea was, like the whiner. So I get all these from my managers. Managers, you're gonna love this. And if you think of it, I'm gonna read these, and if you have someone that comes to mind, I want you to raise your hand. The never satisfied. Clueless. Oh, that's in my lease? I didn't know that. Entitled. Well, I don't deserve to get a rental increase. The drama queen. That sits at your desk and cries, crier. Oh my God, my mother died 3 times. Did you not see it in the paper last year too? The bully. Everybody has a bully. Come on, they're terrible. The friend. All of y'all have someone come in and say, oh my gosh, you're my best friend. I just love you. I just love coming in here talking to you. You're my best friend. The traveler and never gets bill are kind of one and the same. Well, I was traveling, didn't get that email you sent. Well, did you send it to the right email? Do we have your correct email? Is that my responsibility? You don't read your email when my lease clearly states we're going to email you a bill. The blame's you. Yes. Well, it's your fault. It's your fault I didn't pay my bill because I didn't get it because you sent it to the wrong address even though I didn't update it, and you should just know where I live. Well, you have to do it, and that was fun too because you guys, I'm watching all the hands go up going, yes, yes, yes. You want to explain clearly from the very get-go, from the time you do a lease, even if you do it online. We do rentals online, but that's the first part of the lease, and they still have to come in because we collect Social Security numbers. Oh my gosh, we've been doing it a long time. Never lost anyone that walked out the door over it. We had one person, I think you had him, that said it was illegal for us to do it, and we said, no, it's not. It can be our policy that you have to provide it or we don't rent to you. But guess what? He still rented. She came in, she was like, it caught me off guard. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, you were good. I was listening. It was fine. Because when we first started doing it, we were nervous. I had one of my assistants, she goes, well, they're going to come in and say, well, I don't want to do that. And they're going to be upset because we didn't do that before. And I'm like, well, how do they know we didn't do it before? Were they here yesterday and we didn't do it? Were they here last week? On your lease, you should have your late fee. And when it hits, whatever your fees are, these vary, whatever works for your business. Written default notice, there's a charge for that. Lien fee, there's a charge for that. This is the day it's going to happen. If you have your lock cut because we are going to auction you, we're going to charge you $50 to cut the lock. And this is the day it's going to happen. Advertisement, we charge actual cost. It's ridiculously high anyway, and you know you're not going to get that auction money back, so we just do actual cost. NSF fees. ACH is also treated like an NSF. We're going to charge you an NSF fee if your check comes back. Cleaning fees, 1 hour minimum, $35 per hour per person plus disposal fee. Have that in your lease. Dumping fee, $75. If the occupant requests that you cut their lock, please don't do that for free. I was a resident manager years ago, and I'm sitting on my back porch on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock. And you have to drive right by our back porch to get to the exit keypad. My husband and I used to run in the house as fast as we could and hide so they couldn't see us through the windows. 10 o'clock, sure enough, they stop. Well, I hate to bother y'all. Then why are you bothering me? Can you cut my lock? For $50, I can. Oh, I'll just come back tomorrow. Isn't that amazing? It took me 2 years to learn that. So please, if you're not charging, charge. Tell them in the beginning you're going to charge for it, though. When they're pushing back on fees and that kind of stuff, listen earnestly to their story. You may not believe a word they're saying, but be nice. Explain the fees are in their rental agreement. Waiving fees actually hurts your customers. I've heard people do it different ways. I've heard people say, well, I'll waive the first one just to be nice. But I tell them that that's the only one I'm going to waive. And I'm the opposite. No, I'm charging it the very first time so you know I mean business. I'm not going to enable you to pay me late. If I don't pay my car payment, they come repossess my car. If I don't pay my credit card, I'm going to get charged $5 billion. And y'all know that's how credit cards are. If you do waive the fee, put that limit on there. Managers, you have a great position where you can say, you know what? I know you've been here for a while, you've never been late, and there are obviously always exceptions. There truly, truly are. I've got amazing tenants. Sometimes things will be devastating happen, and you can waive that fee. But you want to say, once a year we can do it. Otherwise, they may expect you to do it next month. And then, have you guys ever seen a good tenant go into delinquency, like been there 2-3 years, and all of a sudden they start falling out, and you're going, ooh, uh-oh, something's wrong, because you have all that history. Sometimes it is. If you waive it the first time, that's good, but don't do it the second time, because they can fall into that if you allow it. Be nice. I don't know if anyone was in our marketing thing the other day, but I brought up the movie Roadhouse. Has anyone seen Roadhouse? Sam Elliott's in that, y'all. He's hot. By the way, I'm 53 today. I'm showing my age, and I really don't care because he is still hot. But Patrick Swayze's teaching these people how to be, and he goes, be nice. He says it, be nice, be nice, be nice. I talked to a girl yesterday, or in the marketing afterwards, and she was very upset because they have they like anniversary date, and they prorate in, but they don't prorate out. But you know, everyone's going through a big drama when they come rent their storage unit because somebody died or somebody's divorced or some kid's coming home or something. It's always a big drama, which is great. We want those people. They need us. But she didn't hear that we don't prorate out, even though it's in big, bold letters in the lease. So she goes online and writes a review and gives her 3 stars. And the girl's very upset. The manager's very upset. I want to defend myself. You can't. You cannot go online. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But you want to be nice because it's such a quick world for people to report you to BBB. I've had it happen. It's a quick time where they're going to go write you a review on Facebook. They're going to dog you on whatever website, Google, and you don't want that. And she did not set my timer. I don't know how I'm doing on time. Do you know what time it is? Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, explain fees. I'm going to go really fast now, like I haven't been going fast the whole time. Okay. You're not alone. How many of you are bartenders? And how many are psychiatrists? You feel like that. And people, when they walk in your office, they think you don't have anything to do because you're sitting there. Maybe you're working on reports or you're doing something. You've got 15 things on the property to take care of, and you've got this rental truck in a minute, and you've got this rental coming in a minute, and they're going, hey, you know, my dog is just so sick. And we've just taken him to the vet 100 times. We don't have time for that. So we all feel like that. Customers don't care what your policies are. This is what I told the girl. Carefully handle them with respect and kindness. Treat them all the same. Know that you are right and you are doing your job. And do not take it personally. You want good reviews, and you cannot argue online even when you're right. Some interesting stats, 86% of consumers read reviews for local business. They read an average of 10 online reviews before feeling able to trust a local business. 40% of consumers only take into account reviews written within the past 2 weeks. That's me. I sort them by most recent. 57% of consumers will only use a business if it has 4 or more stars. 80% of 18 to 34-year-olds have written online reviews compared to just 41% of consumers over 55. So your millennials are doing it. And she's telling me I've got to end. I think this will be available through the ISS store. I'm sorry I didn't get through all of it. Next time I'm going to ask for 2 hours, okay? I have moonshine. Y'all come see me in the next room.